in terms of contracts, right? What we see in European football, or Fabrizio bringing out contracts, or big clubs where it is a weekly contract. So does that
Yeah.
also happen in India, or is it a monthly thing? Is it a seasonal thing? How does the contractual bit work in India?
It's different club to club.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Football Unplugged with me, Satvik. In the final and third part of our podcast and our discussion with Hardik, we're going to talk about Indian football, the ground realities of the I League and the second division, what all does a player has to go through, whether it is, the thoughts of accommodation, or, the experiences that he has with various levels of the Indian football. And at the same time, we're going to talk about what's next for Indian football, and where does Hardik think Indian football is headed towards. If you haven't watched the last two episodes, or the first two parts, just ensure that you go and watch the first two parts before, and then there's a lot for you to learn, and just a brilliant conversation with Hardik, and just a lot to learn, just a lot to get inspired from. And yeah, stay tuned, and you'd love the content, I'm pretty sure.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and now that you're talking about your preparation, you're in the pre-season, right? You're preparing for the Durand Cup as well. So, from a player's perspective, like how does a match week look like for you? How does the preparations work? So, could you just tell me, just in terms of what happens? Let's say you have a match on Saturday, right? How does the
Yeah.
entire week look like for you?
Well, it depends on the SNC that's working with you. From what I've noticed at Rajasthan and Mumbai City, it was pretty much similar. The first 2 days of the week are, you would say, a higher tempo.
Hmm.
Uh, we have probably before the match, if you have like 5 days, you'll have around 8 to 9 sessions that week, strength training and ball work on the field or team training, whatever. So first couple of days are a little high intensity, high tempo, and then they sort of take it down a notch. Match day -2 would be, trying to just touch your potential and come back mid intensity, and then match day -1 would be set pieces, going through what we have to do and stuff.
And individually, let's say that you're going to play the next match, right? And you know the opposition. So do you prepare? Let's say you're playing at the right back position. Do you play, do your own bit as well, where you analyze the left winger of the opposition team?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of teams like help you with the analysis of their individual players as well. So it helps you to know what they might do. Understand how they think in a game, understand how they work, what's their go-to when they're stuck, when they're under pressure, how good they are. It really helps, and you should always do that. Gives you an edge, definitely.
so talking about preparing, like who is the best opposition player that you've come across? Like the most challenging or the most difficult opposition player that you've had to encounter in your career?
Uh, Most difficult throughout like my whole playing
Yes.
career so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I played against a few. I've played against Chowdhury. I've played against Bipin Bhai when I was in Rajasthan and played with the run.
Mm.
I think uh, Ashik troubled me a lot.
And by trouble you, so let's say you're a right backs, right? When the whatever level that I've played at, I also used to switch between the center back and the right back position, right? So
Yeah.
when you look at an opposition player, what is that one trait that you would not want the opposition winger to have, or something that he can probably take advantage of you?
Uh, well, it's just everything comes down to how strong you are mentally.
Hmm.
And it's the first blow, who gives the first blow. If he
Hmm.
takes you on and he's successful, he slightly has an
Hmm.
upper hand.
Hmm.
But in a challenge, if you come out victorious, you have an upper hand. This is all mentally. right? It's how well you manage it. Now, there are so many players that I see. Someone like an Aspilicueta from Chelsea. He's not the fastest player,
Yes.
but he just knows where he has to be, you
Hmm.
know. And I've seen some. So experience brings you a lot of, I would say, advantage in your game. But even if you're young and you're smart, you know what the player can do when you're just playing wisely. I think that helps.
And any, who do you sort of have the best rapport, coordination in the team, either Rajasthan or let's say Mumbai City FC? Who did you have the best understanding with on the pitch?
In Rajasthan, I had the best understanding with my centre back Melroy.
Who I think he just transferred, right? That was the
He
story that
he's
you told.
moved on. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's moved on now for his new challenge, and I wish him all the best. He's probably going to an ISL club. He's yet to make the announcement official, so I can't say it. Uh, so in Rajasthan, yes, definitely, he was my brother on and off the pitch. He was my roommate as well. So we have great memories together, and I could just always count on him, and he could just always count on me. In Mumbai, it was I had a very short stint, but I had a very good rapport with Raul Bhai. I had a very good rapport with Bipin Bhai as well. Chante, when he was playing on my wing, we combined well, so it was good.
And so now that you've mentioned, you sharing rooms with a lot of players, so just in terms of the logistical side of things, right? When you're with the team, how was the entire, is the stay as a player covered? Like, do you guys stay in hotels? Does the club arrange all of that for you? Even the entire travels. How does that look both in an I League level and both at the and at the ISL level as well?
But you should ask me at the I League second division as well because
Yes,
I've
definitely. So yeah,
experienced
yeah,
some
all the
of that
levels. So
as well.
and I think it's not just, I think it's very important for everyone to understand as well, right? To the realities of different tiers of Indian football, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. So
yeah.
I've
So
experienced
hmm,
some of the worst to
hmm,
probably the best uh, facilities that I could probably have, and the team provides everything: the food, the stay, the travel to the ground and back, and it depends on the funds that the team has. So the quality of stay and food will depend on how much funds they have. Rajasthan has been great. Uh, this just being their third year, they're giving the players the best they can. So I'm really happy with from where I started to where the club is right now. It's amazing and the amount of efforts. Even I know it's expensive for the club
hmm.
to manage all of that, but they're doing pretty well. They're doing their best to keep the players happy. And when you play for an ISL club, everything's obviously world class. Like when I was at Mumbai City, I like you just have no complaints. And how this helps is as a player, you don't have to worry about anything else. You don't have to. You just have to go there and give your best. Not worry about uh, water in the room or the room's too hot, you did not get enough rest in the night, the bed's too hard, mosquitoes, insects. I've experienced all of that. I've
Yeah,
experienced
and
cockroaches in
honestly,
my
that
room.
happens at the ground realities. Even in, let's say, some I League clubs, that is also what I've heard, right? The
Yeah,
facilities aren't the best, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah, yeah.
So, I
And
mean,
Hardik,
I've experienced a lot of it. I've lived with cockroaches and lizards in my room. I've had some of those experiences as well in the lower tiers. But, but this is something that you shouldn't let affect your game. If you keep all of this out of the pitch when you're on the pitch, you're just focused. When you go up, you're going to get the best.
And when you say that the ISL clubs have the best facilities, right? Do you have your personal dietitian as well? Is food something that you personally are very conscious about, or the club is very conscious about? How does the eating habits, or the diet taken care of?
Some coaches are very particular and they want to, so they will give you a nutrition outline.
Okay.
Most of the clubs, they'll give you a nutrition outline. But then uh, it's totally on the player. You know, they're not going to come into your room and watch what you're doing. The- If you're staying in a hotel, you have a buffet. There are going to be desserts. There's going to be everything, but it's the choices that you make.
And
And
are you individually very conscious about what you eat?
I have been always, and I try to go the extra mile. I do consult with my nutrition support team, and here at Rajasthan, the SNC and his entire staff, they have tremendous knowledge about nutrition and training. So I've been blessed to have their guidance. So it's pretty good.
Perfect. And just the final lap of the entire interview. Sorry, I've kept you with me for
Not at all,
for a
man.
long time. But in terms of contracts, right? What we see in European football, or Fabrizio bringing out contracts, or big clubs, where it is a weekly contract. So does that
Yeah.
also happen in India, or is it a monthly thing? Is it a seasonal thing? How does the contractual bit work in India?
It's different club to club. Some clubs
Hmm.
have a season wise contract. It depends on for how long you're signed. It could
Hmm.
be an annual contract. If it's a 3 year contract or a 2 year contract, you're being paid annually. I've been in clubs where they pay for only the amount of time that you're playing for them, or the season goes on, the league goes on. If the league is for 3 months, in unfortunately, I League Second Division would be for a 2 month or a 3 month period.
Yeah.
You'd get paid in the whole year only for a 3 month period. So
And
it really
yeah.
depends
Hmm.
club to club.
And has the standard of money that players earn increased? Or like, can does an ISL player live a very comfortable life, whether it is a superstar or even someone who let's say is not a regular featuring for the team? Like,
I think football has started paying pretty well lately. I believe so. And I think a player can have a very good life. Um, Now, I think yes, it's possible.
okay, Hardik, now that you're saying, football is growing well, and, a lot of cultural shift is happening in the country. What is next for Indian football? Where do you think we as a country are headed? And I don't want to ask the, evergreen question, ki India World Cup kab khelega, but just in Indian football or ISL or I League, because we tend to focus a lot on ISL as well, which we should as well, right? But I think still I League is the base, is the heart and soul of Indian football,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So where do you see I League, ISL, and the national team headed, or just football in the entire country headed towards in the next couple of years or the next decade?
I feel a lot of players are going to be approached by European leagues, which shows how much India as a nation, as a footballing nation, is growing. Because if there's opportunities for players abroad, and we've always considered European football superior, if there are opportunities for players abroad, it means we as a nation, as a footballing nation, are growing. And that's a step forward for us in football, in terms of football. And we should gladly accept that. And when our players go out and they play, they come back in with a lot of experience, which will always help us. As a nation, what Igor Stimac has done in the last 6 months, competition wise, his work has been going on for long, and now we've
Hmm.
seen the result. We've been asking questions that what has he done, and
Hmm.
now the team has shown what he's done for us, which is tremendous. We've gone on to rank 99, which is amazing, and I think the only way is forward. He's doing amazing. the players are doing amazing. I think the hunger in the players is so high right now. I think we're growing a lot. That's pretty good.
And one question, or something that I've consciously been thinking, talking, discussing with a lot of people, is the importance of cultural shift, not just in terms of the administration or the players, but just in terms of just as fans as well, right? Like you said, the attendance in I-League matches aren't the best, right? I
Yeah,
went to watch a match of Round Glass Punjab FC, the winners of the I-League last season.
yeah,
Even that match, wasn't there
correct.
weren't many people, right? So how do you think this attendance, as fans, how do you think things can get better? What does the administration or the federation has to do? What can the clubs do? And what we as fans can do as well?
It's just about engaging with the community a little more, and it will definitely grow when football gives the people or the fans back something like the three championships that we gave.
Hmm.
The reason you saw people coming out in numbers in Bangalore was we were winning,
Yeah.
and people want a reason to celebrate.
Hmm.
And also, the fans need to understand that you can't always win.
Hmm.
That there will be ups and downs, but I believe that the fan culture in India is growing in a lot of places, and as long as they're coming out and supporting, it will always keep growing. Yes, we have to engage with the community a little more to get them to come out, uh, but they will definitely come out when you give something, uh, to something that them to cheer for.
Rightly said. And just as a football fan, I just hope that a lot of people turn up for matches, a lot of people watch ISL as much as they, or I League as much as they do the European football as well.
Yes,
And we're headed in the right direction. Igor
absolutely.
Simaj has brought in a lot of, the ISL has brought in a lot of cultural shift, and just hope that good days, better days are ahead of us, right?
I'm sure there
Hardik,
are. Yeah.
yes, Hardik, I think I'm pretty much done from my end. I won't, keep you hanging for too long. But just on a closing note, Hardik, honestly, we did not have a chance to interact a lot before this interview. But I just want to say that I've come out of this interview with a lot more admiration for you, and, just looking up to you even more. I think
Thank you so much.
I, you know, as fans, as players, as we give ourselves a lot of excuses. कि मैं लेट हो गया हूँ, मैं ये नहीं कर सकता, मैं वो नहीं कर सकता, ये constraint है. But I think not just a footballer, but the journey that you've had, I think it's a life lesson for everyone out there.
Thank you.
Where if you have a dream, if you want to achieve that, and we highlight the stories of your Jamie Vardis, or everyone else, but I think stories of Hardik Bhatt should also be highlighted more, from the second year of Mumbai League to then being the ISL champion. Hardik, your
Thank you so
journey has
much.
been an inspiration, and I am honestly very honored that you agreed. And
I'm
whatever
honored.
chat that we've had over the last 1 hour, honestly, at this point, I don't care how many people watch this, because even if no one watches this, I've just had one of the best conversations I've had with anyone. And more than anything, I've just come out of this more inspired than anything. And just thank you
Thank you
so much
so
for that.
much. That means a lot, and I'm so honored. And thank you for having me. It was a great chat. I just felt like we could go on for another 2 hours. It was great talking to you, and thank you so much for the kind words. I'm really flattered.
Thanks, Hardik, and all the best for the next season. I hope
Thank you so
the
much.
Indian team isn't far away for you.
One step
Thanks.
at a time. We'll get there.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye bye.